this is something I don't generally encounter because I don't trade futures. Um, but someone was asking, how can I overcome the large bid-ask spread for futures, like in natural gas, when using TradersPost for automated short-term trades? I think
Yeah.
this person is trading, 30-minute time frames. What can you just describe what this problem is and how it can be mitigated?
Sure. So we're really referring to the lowest price that somebody has bid and the highest price that somebody's asking, and that difference between the two. And in some markets, like natural gas, sometimes those spreads can be fairly wide. The difference between those two prices is enough to where it's costly to actually enter the position because you're going to end up buying at a higher price than you end up expecting. You'd like to be close to where the last match price is, but ultimately you end up somewhere a bit higher if there's a large enough spread. There really isn't a way to circumvent that if you're executing market orders. Whatever when you submit a market order, you're going to get what the market has available for you at that time, and that can mean that you're paying the cost of entering into that position through the bid ask spread in addition to whatever the commission was to enter. So in general, we would refer to that as slippage, and that slippage should be accounted in your back test and in your performance to make sure that you're accounting for things like large spreads in certain types of contracts and markets. So the only other way around this problem is with limit orders. If you choose a limit order and you want your entry price to be very specific, you can avoid a bit of that bid ask spread slippage by asking for that specific price. The problem, of course, you run into at that point is you may not actually get a complete entry or an entry at all. Maybe only one contract gets filled of the five you asked for, or maybe none of the contracts are filled, and so you're left hanging there in an opportunity to take a trade that you could have entered if you had entered at market. So it's really a trade-off, and you're going to have to make a choice as a trader as to how you want to enter and exit your positions, assuming that you've traded on a little bit longer of a time frame and you are trading a number of ticks so that you have enough room for that trade to breathe, if you will. Then maybe slippage isn't such a big deal. Entering in at market is okay, and you can afford to take the cost of entering the market, which includes commissions and slippage.
Question. I mean, this is just occurring to me now. I've never actually done it, but I know you can't set on the same strategy and the same subscription multiple limit orders, right? Because one will cancel the other, or one would need to be canceled for the next one to work. If you had multiple subscriptions to the same brokerage account, could you then have multiple different limit orders active at the same time?
Well, the subscriptions don't really conflict, or they're not the actual reason that you can't submit certain types of bracket orders with the brokers. You can certainly have more than one limit order. Of course, you could have one limit order at 100 and another limit order at 95, all within the same subscription. And the
I
same
see.
is true for the other side of your trade. You could have two exits at multiple prices. There's nothing inherently that would prohibit you from doing that other than how you construct your alerts and how those orders are set up with the broker. But in certain conditions with certain brokers, there are types of OCO orders or that aren't supported, and so you may run into issues with that.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like send multiple limit orders, but then they would all get filled if the price really moved across them all. So that'd be a
Right.
problem. You would want one to cancel all the other ones.
Yeah. So like I have a strategy that's mean reverting, and it takes 8 positions to the entry because I'm actually expecting price to keep coming down. I want it to. In fact, if it fills my lower and lower orders, that's actually better for me.
Hmm.
So as the price comes down, I have these 8 limit orders that are all set, and they're at varying prices that are calculated on the way down, pre-calculated on the way down. And if the first two get submitted, but then price starts to mean revert, then I'm going to cancel those other limit orders, and then I'll just exit whatever position I've been able to establish at that point. But that requires all that logic is written on my side. That's not something that TradersPost handles automatically. I have
Fair
to
enough.
put that thinking in place ahead of time.
Correct.